All right, so here we go. The final step is making these feel like they have some volume. Okay, so to show that they have volume, you're gonna have to put some value in them. Okay, and yes, with this, you're gonna be using small consecutive circles. You're gonna make this look well done. Okay, so here's what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna need to figure out where your light source is. Okay, now you are not going to draw a smiley little sun as to where your light source is coming from. But what you're going to do is you're going to choose either my light source is coming in from the left side or it's coming in from the right side. I'm going to choose that mine is coming in from the left side, and I could put a little X there if I want, so that you can see what I'm talking about. But for the most part, I'm just going to say my light source is coming in like that. Okay, with my light source coming in like that, it is going to strike here first. Okay, so I'm going to call that a 1 value. Now visualize, if you will, your gradation strips that you did. Your 1 value would be your light value. Okay, so that would be your lightest value would be your 1 value. Say your 4 value would be your darkest value, okay, or close to that dark value. Okay, so with the light source coming in like that, that would be a 1. Because it's a 1 value, that would be a 1. That would be a 1, and that would be a 1. All of those sides are facing the light source, so they would have the lightest value. It makes sense, okay? This would be a 1 value, okay? Where my dark side would be the things that are facing away from the light source. So this would be a 4 value. So this side of the building would be a 4 value. This would be a 4 value. This side of the curb would be a 4 value because it's facing away from the light source, a 4 value. So that's your darkest value would be a 4 value. There, 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 even there. Okay, so facing away from the light source, it's going to be a 4 value. It's facing me. Okay, so things that are facing me, I'm going to call those a 3 value. Okay, so I would say that's a 3 value, 3 value. So you're looking at a middle gray. So that's a 3 value, the front of that building, this building, this building, this building. And this strip, okay, of the curb and this strip of the curb. They're facing me, they're facing the viewer, there'll be a 3 value. So again, you're thinking like a middle gray type of feel, okay? My 2 value would be things that are facing up. So if the light, if the object is facing up, so like if you see the roof of a building, which you're probably not going to, but if you see the sidewalk, well, that would be a 2 value. That would be a 2 value, 2 value, 2 value. So anything that's facing up, we're gonna make those 2 values, okay? So not a very bright white, but just a little bit off of white, okay? With these, you do not have to add value in your road. You can just leave that blank, that's fine. Same thing with your sky, don't have to put anything in there. But adding value to this is crucial. And again, I can't stress it enough. You gotta do it in small consecutive circles. Gotta take your time with it. I saw on some of the gradations where you're doing large consecutive ovals. If you do large consecutive ovals, it's gonna end up looking shaggy. Okay, if you scribble back and forth, it's gonna look, like it's a textured building, and that's not what you're going for. You're gonna, put this time to make this, well done looking city. Make sure that you're using that small consecutive circles to make it look good, okay? With your dark values do not have to be so dark. So like, if you look at my example here, I put all this time and effort into the bricks. Well, it would make no sense whatsoever to put a dark value on here so dark that I wouldn't be able to tell what's going on. So make sure that you don't, put it on so heavy, so thick that you kind of lose that look, okay? You can make it the darkest side of the building without making it, jet black to where you're losing it. And I would say the same thing with your lettering and any of the other details. Don't put your shading to where it destroys it. Okay, the last thing, usually on a building that is facing the light source, usually, so like if I had a window right here, this window facing the light source is usually darker than the lightest side of the building. So I would say make that part of the window, or that window, that glass, a darker value. I'm going to make that a 2 value, okay? On the darker side of the building, so like your 3s and 4s, usually the windows appear lighter. So in that sense, we're going to make this a 2 value, and we're going to make that a 2 value, okay? So basically what I'm telling you is make all your windows 2 values, okay? Because there'll be enough of a difference, and you'll be able to show that idea of glare and what's going on inside the building, okay? You can do the same thing with your doors. You can make those a 2 value, make them, switch them up just a little bit, Okay, so we're going to continue working on the cityscape, and we're going to take a lot of time on the shading, so make sure that it's done well. And you know, I blocked it out on the calendar so that you have several days to work on this. So it'll probably work into next week easily. So just make sure that you're taking your time and make these look good. So hope everything's going well, and I'll see you soon.